This is the Lobo Pod with the voice of the Lobos, Robert Portnoy.
Hello, Lobo fans, and welcome into another edition of your Lobo Pod. I'm your host, Robert Portnoy. With the football season just around the corner, we shift our attention to the gridiron, and the Lobos starting quarterback is Devon Dampier. He's a true sophomore, back for his second season in the Cherry and Silver, and he joins us in our studios. Great to see you, Dev. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's so cool. Thank you for coming in and being with us. And I'll start with, what is the new vibe for University of New Mexico football? Whole new coaching staff, 60 new players. You're going to get a chance to be the starting quarterback this year for the first time, full-time in your career. But what's the vibe around the program?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's been clear, our clear motive is earn, not given. And just living by that, a lot of the players are more dedicated to wanting to be here. Just having a previous season here, you can definitely tell that, like, the work that we're doing and how hard it is, it truly makes people make a decision whether they want to be here or not. So that's the biggest vibe I can say that we have on our team. And hard things bring each other together. When you go through a struggle with someone, it's easy to connect. So it's a family atmosphere.
That's the follow-up question I wanted to ask. Coach Mendenhall talks about that all the time. Doing hard things together kind of galvanizes you, brings you together. How does that happen?
It's like, I can't even describe it, but like when you go through hard things, you get to see the person next to you fight just as hard as you're fighting. So it just kind of creates that bond where you see someone working just as hard as you, and knowing they're going through things, you're going through something. But at the end of the day, y'all want to achieve this exact same goal. So it just naturally just bonds.
I think too, what I've seen is you pull each other a little bit too. Like, you can see if somebody's struggling a little bit and needs a little help, and you all want to get to that same goal, and you're kind of all pulling in the same direction.
Yeah, especially we have Blackjack as our strength coach. So he's been in the military, and he always talks about, never let a comrade fall. So if somebody's kind of dragging along, it's like we're in this together. So it's only right for the next brother to come pick him up and continue to have him carry himself with the rest of us.
Follow up on that. What has Coach Blackjack meant to establishing that culture and helping you guys become your best selves physically?
Yeah, Coach Blackjack pushed it. So that was my first, because he has 3 other strength coaches with him, under him, but he was my first strength coach when we got here, and it's honestly, he worked me so hard, and I've done numbers I haven't ever touched before. Like, my squat was at 490 pounds. The closest I've ever been now was like 425. So what he's doing is great. And then he does a lot for us. I asked him to have us do like rollout sessions for the offense, and he's all willing to do things just to make us better as people. So huge shout out to him.
That's awesome. Right before you came to join us for the Lobo Pod, you were doing yoga. When did that become part of your program, and what does that look like?
Yeah, that's something that was Blackjack's looked into. He started yoga maybe 2 weeks ago, and then he does pool recovery as well. So those are great things to go to. Honestly, it calms your body and just allows you to kind of recover in a way.
What's the pool recovery look like? I've never even heard of that.
I haven't been to the pool recovery yet, but my roommate, Everett Hunter, he plays tight end. He tends to go a lot. He says it's so fun, and a lot of the linemen usually go, and they say they feel a lot better the next day.
So they swear by it.
Yeah. No, they're like, Devin, you need to come one time. I'm like, all right, I'll make some time to do it.
Great stuff. So the earned, not given core value of the program, of which there are many, but that is right at the top of the list. Part of that is the earning your jersey number, and that's something that most of us have never seen before. I don't know if you've ever seen anything like that before, in your football life, but what was that part of it like? You get together with all the guys, and initially you're all in white T-shirts, in the first workouts, and then jerseys with just names, and you've got to earn your number, literally. The ceremonies looked like they were pretty amazing when guys got to pick their jerseys.
Yeah. Just to speak on that, earning 4, to me, I've always wore it my whole entire life. So me actually like earning a number, like it truly did mean a lot to me. It meant that I showcased my ability to my coaches and my teammates. I showcased my leadership to everyone, and just commitment was the biggest part of people earning their number. And they voted me to go fourth just because of my commitment level to the program, and it was great feedback for me, and it meant a lot to actually earn a jersey instead of something being given to you.
And especially important to you because you have a nickname associated with that number?
Yeah, so in Arizona, I think maybe like my sophomore year, everyone just started calling me D4, and it kind of just stuck with me through the next 4 years of that. So it's gonna make its return.
We'll see if it starts picking up some steam around the Toe Diem complex.
Yeah, hopefully other people start using it so it doesn't feel so different when I go to Arizona and come back.
There we go. Okay, so D4, we're going to start that today.
All right.
Let's talk about Arizona a little bit. 2 different high school stops before your college career began. Pinnacle to Saguaro. An amazing experience for you?
Yeah. So Spencer Rattler, he's now quarterback for the Saints. We grew up in the same program, the youth program, and he went to Pinnacle for his 4 years. So just talking to him, that was kind of my role model and still is. So I wanted to follow his footsteps, go to Pinnacle, and yeah, I had fun with the guys I met there and stuff. Just things I was looking for different in the school and where I wanted to be. So I had a lot of people that I knew from like youth ball. That's who I grew up with, the people that were at Saguaro. So making that transition was pretty easy. And then, yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, things got really good at Saguaro really fast. But before we talk about that, Spencer, you and Rattler share a quarterbacks coach, correct?
Yeah, Mike Giovando.
How important has Mike Giovando been in your development?
Probably the most important. I played running back my first maybe 5-6 years of playing football. I started when I was 4, and he was the one who truly made me a quarterback. And just starting off with him, he always makes a joke like he started off with me in diapers. So, but yeah, the bond I had with him, and just he teaches me football, not just football technique. And yeah, I mean, he's made me a dynamic player. So.
Spencer's a little bit older than you too, right? A little bit of a role model for you as well?
Yeah, for sure.
How much do you look up to him?
Oh, I mean, a lot. Even when he comes back and we always work out together. We usually make things kind of competition-wise. Like it's always like who can throw the better ball when we do something. But yeah, he's been a huge role model for me.
I'm guessing in those competitions initially he was like a step ahead. Have you caught up? Is it pretty tight now?
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten maybe my junior year I figured out how to throw a football really good. So I would say that's the year where some days I'd win, some days he would win. So
your last year at Pinnacle, you and a current Lobo first met up for the first time in a game. Tell the fans about that.
Yeah, me and Eli.
Eli Sanders.
Yep, Eli Sanders, not Elijah. Eli Sanders. Yeah, so at Pinnacle, that was the first time I got to play him, and the end of that score was maybe 61-0. So, but what's crazy, I just talked to Eli about this. So he added 4 touchdowns on us. And I was like, dude, this running back is crazy.
And he's playing for Chandler High School?
Yes, he was at Chandler High School during this time. And I just put the 2 pieces together that was him when he got here. So I had no clue what running back scored 4 touchdowns on us on their senior night. But I finally put it together. That was Eli. And I was like, dude, that is insane.
So he lit you guys
up.
up.
Bro, you were good. Like, I'm expecting big things from you now you're on my team. You better ball like that against other people.
So pretty cool to hand off to him for the first time, huh? When you guys got together in practice?
Yeah, he showcased his ability very early. I think he gained his respect around the whole team after maybe day 3 of practice. So.
Wow,
yeah.
Impressive. Okay, so that was just your sophomore year, though, and it was your first year as a varsity starting quarterback, right? Yeah. So you make the decision as a junior to go to Saguaro, but you have to sit out. What was that like?
Yeah, sitting out was a learning experience for me. It truly made me I think that's what really turned me into a we type of person instead of just a me guy.
So the transfer rules, in an interesting way, were kind of helpful to you.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say maybe playing football, I could have been like maybe a little selfish, just always thinking about me. But when you're in a place where even if you want to make playoffs, I couldn't contribute to those first half of the game. So obviously I need my team more than they need me at the time. So I'm doing anything I can to just be supportive. I'm still being on meetings on time. Like I'm trying to be extra for my team just to show them, show them true support. And yeah, I'm happy with what they got done for when I was able to step in.
Well, you stepped in second half of the season and shared the starting quarterback role during the regular season. But you have a current teammate who is actually your teammate in the backfield at Saguaro that junior season?
Yeah, yep, he played both running back and slot.
Javen Jacobs.
Yes.
And once you got to the playoffs, they decided to make you the full-time starting quarterback. How did that go?
I mean, it was more like the captains kind of made that decision, and, I leave it up to those guys to make that decision, and happily it was me. So just having people know that they believe in you to step in, and when it's the biggest moment, playoffs, it was pretty huge for me to hear it.
You had one of your best games in the championship game, and who was standing in front of you, that team from the year before when you were at Pinnacle, but Chandler. Share the experience of playing in that state title game and winning it all.
Yeah, Chandler and Saguaro, those have always been like the two big schools in the past 20 years when it comes to just Arizona football. So there's already a little bit of tension just between us, but playing them in a championship game when it means it most was definitely huge. I threw a touchdown to Javen Jacobs during this game, which was huge, and it was a crazy experience. I've never really had a true big championship that meant something in the whole entire state. I think we had I don't know how many people were at that game. We almost filled up the whole bottom part of ASU,
Sun Devil Stadium.
Yeah, so it was crazy. It was a big game for me, and I'm happy I got to experience that with people. You work hard with. You talk about it in the summer like we're gonna win a championship, but for you to really get to that point with the people who were all in it at the beginning, it was a cherishing moment.
I bet. How about the being reunited with Javen Jacobs here at the University of New Mexico? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's exciting because me and Javen, even though we're teammates, we were still friends outside of just the football stuff. We used to literally go get food almost after every morning practice, just walking the hallways together, going to class. So it was more than just teammates. So just to have them here, we're both kind of grown now. I mean, we're both older with a 2-year gap we've had away from each other. So it's just it's a reunion.
Beautiful. Adds to the family feeling of that backfield here in Albuquerque.
Yeah, right. I got straight Arizona heat coming behind me.
And bring the heat this year to the Mountain West. That's great stuff. So coming into this season as, we'll say, the presumptive starting quarterback, and Coach Mendenhall has talked about that, it's a different scenario for you. As a true freshman, you get to learn behind a great veteran 6-year player in Dylan Hopkins. And what about going into training camp, knowing that this job is sort of yours to grab hold of?
Yeah, it's somewhat different, somewhat not. Just because when I play football, I always try to, I'm never trying to be stable where I'm at. I'm always want to get better. So even being behind Dylan, it was always man, hopefully one day I could pass Dylan up coming up. So even now, me being named the starting quarterback, I always want to be better. I want to try to further the distance gap between me and the next quarterback. My grind never stops. So, but it is also great to know I'm the starting quarterback this year, and just knowing the leadership that comes with that, and the publicity I get with that, just huge to know that I'm carrying the name of New Mexico a little bit more. So it's great.
You told me that the leadership that you had to show, that you had to learn as a senior at Saguaro, was really important in your development, because it was your team, and you guys got off to a little bit of a rough start, and then you had to bring it back and make the playoffs. You made it all the way to the championship game. But do you feel like that experience has prepared you for this year being the leader for the Lobo offense?
Yeah, for sure. Even growing up in football, I've always played maybe 2-3 years older than me. So I've really never been the oldest guy on the team. So the senior year part kind of made it where, okay, I'm the guy that everyone's looking up to. And especially I played quarterback, so it's just one of those positions that gets a little bit more valued when it comes to just people caring about opinions and all that. So just knowing my voice meant something that senior year. It was a grind to just carry people on with you, how to get people to truly give their all, because you need football's 11 people on the field sport game, so you need every one of those guys. So
as I think about it, I feel like the experience of the second half of the season as a junior in high school and being there to lead that team to a state title kind of prepared you for that senior season. And in some ways, and I'd like to talk about last year, that coming off the bench and clearly you proved that you were worthy and that there were ways that they needed to get you on the field as a true freshman, even with a sixth-year starting quarterback. And you contributed big time last year. Let's start with the Tennessee Tech game and your first taste of Division I college football. How did that feel?
That was it's almost a moment I can't really explain, just because it's one of those first-time things that really means something to you. So just knowing I finally hit the college level and I took that first snap and
there's your first touchdown.
Yeah. It's so crazy because I always say, I can compete with anyone, but, you really get it in the first college snaps, and it was I'm really here, and I can do this. I can compete with guys.
It's happening.
Yeah. So after having maybe my first drive, the rest was all right, it's still football at the end of the day. So
you get your first career touchdown against Tennessee Tech, first couple of completions as well. Then the Lobos are in Laramie. They're playing the Wyoming Cowboys, and you come off the bench in this one. New Mexico got down early, but you helped lead a fourth quarter comeback. Didn't quite get over the line, but this was probably a pretty amazing experience to do this on the road.
Yeah. This game was crazy. Just being
great throw to Hicks there in the back right corner of the end zone.
Yeah, no, we had good timing. But just talking about this game more, just getting kind of thrown in there. I wouldn't say we lost hope in that game, but it was just let's kind of get Devon some reps, and eventually I was able to I took it as we can low-key still come back, so
you were balling.
Let's play. And
touchdown to DJ there.
Yeah.
I mean, it got interesting.
Right, and those guys have seen me in practice make throws and stuff, so them having me in a real game scenario, everyone's like, hey, freshman, calm down, you're gonna be okay. But I'm like, dude, I've been here before. I've played football, so let's go out there. And then, after they seen the confidence in me after, my first couple runs and throws, I think everyone was like, oh, okay, this kid can ball. So we almost made that comeback happen.
What is that feeling like for those of us that have never been in a huddle like that, and you have guys responding to you that way and sort of rallying around you? I mean, it's got to be the most amazing feeling.
Yeah, it's like a feedback kind of thing. It's everyone's looking at you man, you haven't been in this situation. What are you going to do? You kind of see the questioning in people's eyes as you're calling the play, and eventually you just start to see the excitement in the players, the smile starts to come out, the trust in what they're telling me and what they think I'm capable of doing. It's I don't know. I cherish it a lot, though. It's just gaining people's respect and, just having fun.
Oh, earning people's respect, that is huge. The Lobos, one of their biggest wins of the year came against Hawaii, and you played a big role in that game as well. A bunch of carries, I think 45 rushing yards against Hawaii, 8.5 yards per carry. And I feel like your contributions in those earlier games set you up to be in position to help the Lobos do something in Fresno that they hadn't done but one other time ever, and that's win a game at Fresno State. It had literally been forever since '94, since the Lobos had won in Fresno against the Bulldogs. The feeling of getting into that game and what it was like to take down a team that they had all kinds of aspirations still at that point. And you basically wrecked their season.
That was a crazy moment, especially. You didn't know we've always been underdogs, but just being a true underdog in this game. And
that's an over-the-top throw there to Medford. And you guys are going to get to do that again this year. Run it back with Caleb.
Yeah. Don't worry. He's going to get in the end zone quite a bit this year again.
So this play, the snap is low. It's a reaction thing. What's going through your mind?
So this this was originally a run play. It was called a run play.
Okay.
And I can't remember the exact conversation me and Caleb had, but I told him, like, if it's a run play and if you're getting pressed, like, just run by him, like, just trust me. But if we're gonna do it, like, we got to connect because it's a run play. So, and I dropped the snap, but for some odd reason my eyes looked at Caleb and I just seen him streaking, and it happened so fast. But my mind told me I can make this throw to him, and just kind of checked out of the run play and threw it, and
an instinctive thing.
It turned into a touchdown.
Huge touchdown. Fourth quarter, puts the Lobos up 2 scores. They get a field goal, but you win. I remember the feeling with other people on the staff, peripheral people to the football program itself. I remember the feeling on the bus with all of us, the excitement. What was the locker room like after that win?
The locker room, yeah, it was huge. It's like, it's one of those things where we knew we were going to get better throughout the season, and it kind of showed right there where, I mean, we fought even though I don't know what our record was at that time, but it's like, you see it in people where we're not just going to give up. Like, that's not who we are. And it's just the progress you see in our program, and I think we're going to see a lot of progress coming this year.
Well, that was the 4th win, and you had nearly pulled off a great upset at home the final week of the regular season. We'll take a look at some highlights as well from the game against Utah State. This thing was a barn burner. What a game to be a part of at University Stadium.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this game was fun too.
There's a touchdown to Wyatt McClure.
Yeah. I think that was that might have been our first or second touchdown to the tight ends.
And late, you have touchdowns in both the fourth quarter and in overtime. What a back and forth game this was. Some design runs. There's the zone read as well. You do a really good job on the quarterback run. Where does that come from?
I guess you could say me playing running back my early years. Like, I just kind of learned how to, like, keep my balance. I think balance is the biggest thing I try to do when I run, just able to bounce off a body and just keep going. Or a lot of people try to arm tackle you or just dive at your legs and hope you fall. So just having the balance to just be able to stay up, I think that's what helps me the most, run the ball successfully.
You've done a little bit of wide receiver, a little bit of running back. When did you start as a quarterback full-time? When did that become the position and, okay, this is what I'm going to do?
Yeah. Again, the shift might have happened maybe my fourth year. So, like, when I'm like 8, 9-ish, the shift happened. But solidified quarterback, like, about 12. Like, that was no more questioning. Even if I play, like, an all-star game, people would try to have me play running back. By that point, I was like, no, like, quarterback is what I want to be, and that's what I'm going to do. So that's when the true transition happened, and that's where I got with Mike Giovando. I've been with him probably for like 4 years now, but finally I'm like, this is what I want to do. Like, can you help me be better? And
I believe you had a youth coach. You were younger. When we spoke about it, you wanted to shout him out because he was big time for you when you were a little kid.
Yep. His name is Coach Matt Frazier. So that's where I first learned the RPO, and that was in my Firebird days where I played for the Scottsdale Firebirds in our youth program. So, yeah, that was the first time I learned how to read an end and know to give it or pull it or if I should still throw the ball. So, I mean, it was crazy how much he was able to teach my brain that. So, just being able to run that in college, it came so natural. So, that's why I thank him a lot.
You're really good at it. Your athleticism. It comes from your parents. They were both very athletic. Tell us about them.
Yes. So my mom was the best defensive player in Minnesota when she was out there. Like, she
basketball,
said, yeah,
right?
She said she was known for her defense. Like, anytime she was on the court, if she wasn't having about 3, 4 fouls, she said she wasn't playing hard enough. So mom,
she taught you to play D?
Yeah. So I that's what I was known for when I played. Every coach I played, so at Pinnacle and Solar, they would always be like, Devon, you're guarding the best player on the team. So
you played hoop all through high school as well.
Yep. Yeah. So,
who had the better jump shot, you or mom?
probably my mom.
Got to give it to mom.
I'm a layup guy. I'm a layup and pass guy for sure. Well, I get my points off of defense. So if I get a steal, then I get my layups.
You go the other way.
Yeah, if it's on offense, I'm only passing. I try not to shoot too much.
I love it. Speed is from Dad, right?
Yeah, my dad ran track. So he did that his freshman and sophomore year of high school. And then just with my dad's life circumstances, his struggle, he had to stop, just work and take care of his younger siblings and stuff. Took that role as being the older brother. So, yeah, but yeah, the athlete is in both of them for sure.
He was pretty quick?
Yeah, my dad was fast. I don't think I passed my dad till I was about like 16 years old.
Okay.
He was still like...
So he was still fast as an...
Yeah, he was still racing me when he's in his 30s and stuff. I can't win. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, you should not be running this fast. So, yeah, finally got to a point where I passed him.
You told me he was just sprints, though. Nothing past the 100 yards. Yeah.
He's 100 and then...
But he was one of the top runners in the state where he grew up in Mississippi, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, he said he was going with the first heats. Like he was competing with the first heats and the second heats and stuff. So, but yeah.
And mom is from Minnesota. You have a ton of family, big family in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, my granddad has his church in Minnesota. So that's mainly I still tune in. That's where I tune in on my Sundays. I watch church through there. But yeah, that's where everyone is. So we're slowly getting people out to Arizona, though. The switch is happening. I'm hoping we can actually make it a thing, but we've only got about one of my families, and there's so many families over there just because both my parents have 5 other siblings. So yeah.
Okay. You did get one to come, though, and that's your brother, and a really unique story of how your brother is part of your family, and he came out to join you and play football in Phoenix, right?
Yeah. So my adopted brother, now he's officially been adopted, but...
And what's his name?
Dorian Singer. So we played together my sophomore year, and then he went on to U of A, and he had a really big season his sophomore year, so he would go play with Caleb Williams for his junior year, and then now he's at Utah, and he's loving Utah, and Utah's a great school too. So.
Oh my gosh, those are 3 phenomenal places. Yeah.
But
he's had quite an experience. What was it like playing with him?
That's probably the best receiver I've probably ever played with, like having next to me and be able to throw to. So, big shout out to him. But it was like I would throw the ball up and it's in his hands almost every time. It was like our highlights were pretty crazy. Like I would just go and I'd see him out there. I'd throw it up, and I mean his catch radius and just being able to jump out of the moon is insane.
Okay. Let's close with your relationship with your younger brother. Introduce Lobo fans to him, and you've told me that he's your inspiration.
Yeah. So Devon Dampier, that's my younger brother. And so just he had autism coming out, growing up. So yeah, our bond was like, it was weird because he didn't know I was his brother. So
you told me early on he only spoke to your mom.
Yeah, right. So like he knew I was his brother, so he wouldn't cry or anything. But when it came to like doing things, having interactions, I just wasn't the person for him at the time. My mom was his everything. He always had to hold her hand or something. So eventually he started finally taking can't remember what classes he started taking growing up, but he started taking classes, and then that's where he just learned to kind of be himself. And ever since then, him fighting over that was huge for me because I watched from, a distance someone who's struggling and seeing other people's opinions on someone who's struggling, that you can't really change that. It kind of hurt. It really hurt my soul just to see people view my brother a certain way for something he has no control over. So for him to come as far as he has, it's another thing in my mind that tells me anything is possible. So I live through his experiences, and I live through that every day. I mean, that's who I look up to.
That's awesome. You told me that it was dancing when you guys were younger that you guys connected on first.
Yeah, so we had dance centrals and the just dances. that was something he really enjoyed. He would come home after school and it's like, "Hey, Devin, let's go dance." So even to this day, I mean, we have our dance battles still because younger brother always thinks he's gonna beat you at something when he starts getting good at it. But
Hot Wheels cars too when you were little.
Yeah. Dude, we might have like 70 toy cars, like serious. We had a whole toy car box, and there was like maybe like just 70 cars in there. So yeah, he had a real big thing for cars, but he's gotten into sports. This is his junior year, and he's gonna be the starting receiver and safety at the school he's at right now. And then he just got done with his track season, and he did pretty good in that. He was on the 4x1 team. So yeah, it's
a mutual thing. You look up to him, and he looks up to you. That's a pretty amazing relationship.
Yeah, no, it's something for sure.
You also told me that once he started to find himself and your relationship evolved, that there were some challenges too, because he was sort of spreading his wings a little bit, and all of a sudden he was challenging Big Bro.
Yeah, us being like, I think we're 3 years and a couple months apart. It's like, we're not in different generations, but like the things he's into was different than mine. So I'm like, dude, come on, bro. Like, grow up a little bit. And then he's at a point where he just wants to bother me. Like, that's his way of showing his love. He just wants to be all over me. And I mean, he's older now, and our bond's just gotten closer.
Super strong?
Yeah.
Okay, last question. How good can the 2024 New Mexico Lobo football team be?
I think we can be really good. I think Minnow has shown that he's made a lot of changes other places he's been at. So just knowing the guys that are here, especially key people, Luke Wysong, just someone who's been out here. He's one of our leaders. And you just hear from people like that. Luke talks a lot. Just he steps up for our team just to say things, and he said he went to media day, and he said he didn't like the disrespect of how other teams looked at us for being New Mexico. He said people kind of looked at him in a way as, like it's the same old New Mexico team. So that really hit our team when he came back after media day and told us that. So I've seen a huge improvement in our team after hearing that kind of news. We are already improving, but there was definitely a switch in almost everyone on our team that, like, let's really shock the world. Let's be different than the last couple of years has been. So I'm really confident in this year.
I love it. Some extra motivation too. That's awesome. Damn, thanks so much.
Thank you.
D4, our guest, Devon Dampier, Lobo starting quarterback on the Lobo Pod. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Lobo Pod is a production of UNM Athletics.